Okay. I try this for the last time. And if I don't get this, I'm going to sleep. Hello. Am I live? Oh my god, this better work, man. Cause I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed, man. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Second question. Can you guys see me? Okay. Oh my god, I finally got it to work. Oh Jesus. You see how beautifully the cosmos work with this Mercury retrograde right now conjunct Saturn. Wow. 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 Man, and my desktop gave up just 2 days ago. It was like shutting down by itself. I'm like doing some recording and it'll just go black. Like, really? I mean, talk about right at the moment of retrograde, things just happen. I mean, this is just phenomenal. This is amazing how the cosmos work and how whatever happens above happens below here. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to take a jet plane ride into your karma bhava, meaning your 10th house of astrology. That's right. So, today we are going to be talking about the 10th house. And what is the 10th house? What does it mean? What does it stand for? You know, and some of the additional things that you guys may not know of. Okay, so 10th house. The very first thing that probably comes to your mind when it comes to the 10th house is your career, right? It is the house of career. It is the house of making money. It is the house of, you know, your pretty much your vocation, right? Wrong. The 10th house is a little misconstrued in terms of your career. Because if you were to rely on your career, or if you were to rely on the 10th house as your career, you will probably fail, I would say, 60% of the time. 60 to 70%, you will just fail. You'll be like, okay, well, Saturn is supposed to be in the 10th house. Then that means this person is supposed to be working with leather, coal, petroleum, oil, a servant, and yet this person is an actor. What is going on? So you see how you can fail just by thinking that 10th house is career. 10th house is not career. 10th house is your work environment. So it represents the environment that you have. So let's say this is my work environment, right? And I have a desk. I have my own private sanctuary. I have this black curtain. I have books behind me. You know, I have my coffee, my painting here, my desktop here, my computer screen. This is my work environment. This is where I exhaust my karmas. This is where I put something into the world. That's the 10th house. I am putting something into the world so I can change it. Like if I poke something, it can change it. That's what I'm doing. I'm sitting here and I am changing something into the world. Why? Because whatever I say here, whatever I make on YouTube, whatever I write on Facebook, whatever I publish on my website, somebody's going to read it, somebody's going to listen to it, somebody's going to see it visually, and something will change with them, and they will impact their own life based on what I say, based on what I do. So that means I am somehow impacting the world, because then you're going to go out and do something. And when you do something, it's going to have another reaction, and then it's going to have another reaction, and that person will have another reaction. So it is the karma that I'm doing and that I'm exhausting into the world. But see, when we think of karma, okay, when we think of karma, we think like career and work. Oh yeah, I'm here to do my karma. You know, that's not karma. Karma mainly is whatever you have reaped, you're going to sow. I'm sorry, it's the other way around. Whatever you have sowed, you're going to reap. And whatever you have done in the past, it's coming to you. That is the karma you're facing. Okay? That is the karma that you're facing. That's karma now. That is karma. Okay? But then there's another kind of karma as to what I'm doing in my present life right now. Sure, I'm facing problems, I'm facing good times, I'm getting fired from my job, or I'm not getting the inheritance from my father. Okay, that's my previous karma. That's real karma I'm facing right now. That's coming to me whether I just sit here and do nothing as an individual. But then there's a karma where I have to perform a duty. I have to go out and do something. I have to go out and manipulate and change something into the world because of my actions. Even if you're, let's say, one of those factory workers in China making like, a shoe of a big brand company, and you're getting paid like $1 an hour. You're making that one shoe. That one shoe can actually make a huge impact, that because that shoe that you made in some sweatshop, okay, would be worn by some guy, some girl who's gonna go out and win a gold medal, who's gonna go out and become, the next Michael Jordan. And they're gonna be like, you know what? I really just love my shoe. I have never taken this shoe off, and every time I go and do something, I'm wearing this shoe. Suddenly, that shoe, your karma, your actions into the world of creating that shoe impacted somebody else. So there are two types of karma then. One that you receive automatically, like a prarabdha karma. Like, there's four types of karma: prarabdha, sanchita, agami, and oh my God, what was the third one? There's four kinds. Sanchita, okay, I'm not sure. I forgot. So 10,000, when in the Sanskrit they say is karma, karma bhava, like 9,000 is dharma. So you learn. Your dharma is your duty, something that you must do by learning. Karma represents that action of doing something. However, we in this day and age don't really care for our dharma as much anymore. We just want to perform actions without even learning something, without giving our proper dues to something. So that's one way of looking at the 10th house. Then 10th house is what? This is the house where sun is at its highest. It's at its peak in the sky. When you're feeling hot, when you're like, oh my God, like sun is scorching. I need to go inside. I need some ice cream. I need some cold drink. Well, this is where sun becomes the most visible. So sun is what? Sun is the light. Sun is God. Sun is also Jyotish, meaning astrology, because what? Jyotish is light of God. So 10th house represents recognition, fame, honor, and as well as astrology. Wanting to know God. If you want to know God, 10th house is it. God shows itself in the 10th house. Why? Because that's where sun is visible. Sun is the very first form of light we see. If sun wasn't here, we wouldn't be able to see each other even. The fire of the sun is the 10th house. So understanding of God, knowing the Creator is the 10th house. And this is why 10th house is actually also known as your mother and father too. Not just bosses. Okay, 9th house is the father, right? According to the classics. Like Jatak Parijata, Bharat Parashara Hora Shastra, and what is that? Pullipani. Not Pullipani, Jatak Bharanam. And written, and what is the other big classic? I'm forgetting here. Oh my God. I'm completely forgetting the biggest classic of all. Did I forget? It's written by Varamira. You see, I'm like completely out of it right now. The retrograde is really just like screwing my head. Okay? But it's written by Varamira. That particular classic I'm talking about. So all those things says that Father is the ninth house, but because God shows itself, the Creator, Son created us, it comes into the 10th house, says, okay, here I am. Now you can see me. You don't have to be on a mountain to see me when I rise or when I set. You can be anywhere and you'll see me. So who's the creator for us in a mundane real basis? It is our mother and father. So mother and father are actually also seen from the 10th house. The teachings, the father is the ninth house. Father's light is the 10th house. The teachings of the father is the 10th house. But also it's the mother too, because mother is the one who creates us. Mother is the one who's like, baking us for 9 months. Then 10th house also represents government, authority. Why? Because sun is the authority, right? Without sun, nobody exists. So who's the authority for us slaves on this planet? It's the government. Whatever government says, we do. Whatever they say is legal is illegal. Whatever they say is illegal, it's illegal. Like if government said tomorrow, astrology, Vedic astrology, everything is illegal. It's like drugs. Now imagine then, will I create that sin? If the government said like astrology is illegal, will I create that sin of committing that, sin of predicting and doing astrology? So you see how government becomes this god, this fear. Oh my God, Zeus gonna strike me if I do something. So this is why they say the only law that you should follow is that law of the gods. That's all, because government can manipulate you. All governments manipulate you. If somebody pays $3 billion to the Congress in US, they're going to pass a bill that astrology is illegal. You can't do astrology. Will I then do it? Of course I will. I don't care what they do to me. This is my passion. This is my life. This is nature. It's like when government says you can't go to the North Pole. Do you know you can't go to the North Pole across a certain region because all the countries have decided, okay, you can go past this point. What is it that they're hiding past that point? What is out there? Why isn't that 300,000 people, 400,000 people just showing up there? Like, we want to know. Because they said it, we're like, okay, we won't go. We read it in books, okay, fine, we won't go. This is why government is authority. But authority may not be good. The only pure authority is that frequency of the universe, which is known as God. Then, because government is the 10th house, anything which is approved by the government is also the 10th house. Meaning when you get married, what happens? Marriage is not just the 7th house. Marriage has to happen through the 10th house. Without 10th house, you can't be married legally. Why? Because they have to sign it. They have to sign it and stamp it. Said, okay, now you're married. You can't have a property of your own. You think property is 4th house? No, the decision of the property is the 10th house. Because the deed has to be signed legally. Then the government will recognize that, okay, this property now belongs to you. It's not with the bank. It doesn't belong to Joe Blow. It belongs to Kapil Raj. So, like, making something official is the 10th house. 10th house also represents dealing with your reputation. Not just fame, reputation. You can have fame. I mean, there are celebrities who are infamous. There's celebrities who are famous. There are celebrities who are treated like God. Okay? So it represents your reputation as well. What is your reputation? Is it good reputation? Meaning it is good fame. Is it bad fame? Is it neutral fame? That's the 10th house as well. And especially what happens in your job. In your workspace, what happens? When you get a promotion, okay, so the boss, you're sitting in front of the boss, and boss says, okay, I'm going to give you 30% promotion starting next year. In 2018, I'm going to give you 30% promotion. So they said it and it's done, right? No. There has to be proper paperwork that has to go to HR. They have to put it in the system that, okay, now Kapil Raj, the IT manager, is going to make 30% more every paycheck. Then they have to sign it. You're going to sign that new contract that you negotiated with your promotion. It all has to be legally documented. This is why 10th house is promotion. Then, the reason why the parents thing came is because 10th house represents the dharma given by your family. So, whatever the reputation of your family is, let's say your family is known as a religious family, very religious and spiritual family. So 10th house represents the dharma that you've accumulated from your family, not just the father, mother, siblings, aunts, uncles, whoever is in that family sphere. The dharma, the knowledge given by them, the highest of knowledge given by them is the 10th house. Did they give you any knowledge? Did you receive any knowledge? What was their reputation? What was their honor? What was their dharma in society? Well, depends upon your 10th house. Were you known as a political family? Were you known as an artistic family? Were you known as a scientific family? Is the 10th house. 10th house represents transformation of your younger sibling, transformation of your neighbors going through their ups and downs, your younger sibling going through ups and downs. It can represent the surgery of the younger sibling. It can represent hidden assets of your younger sibling, joint assets of your younger sibling. It represents the spouse's family of your younger sibling. And this again represents, the type of people your mother interacts with, not just the father. Whomever is the enemy of the mother, whomever mother comes across, who the mother deals with on daily routines, daily life, is the 10th house. Then 10th house also represents jobs, service, daily routines of your children. So your children's daily routine when they get hired in their job or they get fired from their job is seen through the 10th house. It represents health, illnesses, diseases of your children. It represents debts of your children. Will your children have debts? Will your children have a huge debt, small debt? All of it seen through the 10th house. Then 10th house also represents the co-workers, people that you work with, people who are subordinates. So not only 10th house is the authority, the boss, 10th house is also your subordinates. Why? Because if you go to the office, common sense, okay, it's just common sense. When you go into the office, that work environment, the 10th house, one office is the boss, the other office is the colleagues, and because you are the manager below the boss, you have maybe 4, 5, 6 people working under you. So the subordinates are there, the bosses are there, the co-workers are there. Everybody's there in the 10th house. 10th house also represents your mother-in-law. 10th house represents the home environment of your spouse before she or he married you. It represents the happiness of the spouse. It represents the mental strength of the spouse. Is your spouse weak? Is your spouse getting depressed over small things? Can your spouse hold on through all kinds of ups and downs? Is seen through the 4th house of or 10th house of your chart. Okay. Then 10th house also represents the hidden inheritance of the spouse. 10th house represents things that are hoarded by your spouse's family, perhaps which you may not know of. That is also the 10th house. And I'll tell you how I'm getting all this information. 10th house also represents the wealth of your father. 10th house represents death of your father. Because 10th house, if you notice, most of the time, whenever somebody's father dies, their career goes up. If somebody's father has passed away here, you must have noticed that with the passing away of the father, either money came in, or usually if there's inheritance, money will come in. But usually, one's career takes off. One starts working a lot. And I know it sounds bad to say that, but I mean, I gotta tell you how the 10th house is, so you know it. And I'll explain this in a bit. 10th house also represents losses of your elder siblings. The type of places the elder sibling loves to visit. The spiritual beliefs of your elder sibling is the 10th house. 10th house also represents the elder sibling of your paternal grandmother. It represents gains of the paternal grandmother. Represents desire, hopes, and wishes of the grandmother, the paternal grandmother. And in a way, it can also show happiness of the maternal grandmother as well. Hoarded possessions of your maternal grandmother. So now, how did I say all of these things? Well, simple. I'm just using Bhavat Bhavam. I am using Bhavat Bhavam concept. That's it. There's nothing genius about what I just explained. And especially the reason why that I said I was going to explain about the father, because remember, 10th house is second from the 9th house, meaning it is the marka. It is the marka to the 9th house. Which are the marka houses? 2nd, 7th, and 8th house, right? So 2nd, 7th, and 8th house from any house is the marka of those houses. So what is the marka of the 9th house? It is the 10th house. This is why I said when father passes away, which is the killer for the father, your career becomes activated. Actually, in Sedona last week, Dr. Pi showed me a brilliant technique. Brilliant technique of house activation. How he showed through certain events and house will become activated. So if you guys saw my video of Sedona trip, and remember that the video or the photograph of the Last Supper, the last buffet, with Vic DeCara being Jesus in the middle. So whomever was representing a certain sign, because remember the Last Supper is all about the zodiac. Jesus is representing the sun, and all the other 12 disciples are the zodiac signs. So whomever was Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Leo, all the way to Pisces, whomever represented those signs in that particular picture, those particular signs became active for those people. And it is so true. Within like a day and a half or two, I emailed Togi and or texted Togi and Dr. Junpai. I'm like, man, you said this was going to happen, and look, this just happened. And that was the most beautiful thing he showed. So whenever you do something, so somebody, let's say Sandeep, was representing Pisces. Wherever Pisces is in his horoscope, that sign will become active. Whomever is representing Leo in that picture, wherever their Leo is in their horoscope, that will become active. So that's it. These are simple things. And this is how you can just understand everything. So 10th house is not really the career. You will fail most of the time if you were just to rely on the 10th house for your career. Oh, I've got Venus in the 10th house, so I'm going to become an actor and a musician. Or you will say you already know what you want to do. But if you look at somebody else's chart, I see so many Venus in the 10th house, but most of the time, either they are computer programmers, they're in currency trading and finance, okay? They're in business related to, what do you call, actuary, perfume, IT, science. So you can't just say by Venus being in the 10th house, you're going to become this. There is 3 levels that you have to understand. Okay? One of the things that I will always tell you, which is the most easiest thing, to see your natural God-given talent that you don't have to work for. It'll just be given to you. Every single person on this planet, whomever you know, whether they're rich or poor, Everybody has been gifted a certain talent that they can perform without ever learning anything too hard or with aggressiveness. And that is the Karakamsha ascendant of Gemini. The Karakamsha ascendant. Okay, so you look at your Karakamsha Lagna. Look at the fifth house from Karakamsha Lagna. Where the fifth lord is placed, who's in the fifth house from Karakamsha, that will give you probably, I would say, 80% of the clue as to who this person is and what their natural talent is. That if they did those things, they can go to the rise to the top very easily. That's it. That's literally the number one thing for me. Second is the Amatya Karka. Amatya Karka is a planet with a second highest degree that you will always rely on to make your money. So Amatya Karka will say, okay, you're going to do this, but you're going to have to use me to do whatever you want to do. Then you also have to see the nakshatra, the ascendant nakshatra and the 10th lord nakshatra. How are those nakshatras related to each other? Are those, if look at the mythologies of those two nakshatras. Are they enemies? Are they friends? Did those two nakshatras fought each other? Did they fight someone else? Once you know, okay, so this nakshatra teamed up to fight a monster who does this and this. Just from that mythological stories and looking at these other aspects I said, you'll be able to just see, okay, this person has to be doing this. But you know, career is something which is definitely quite a complicated process. But just to know, like, easily you can tell somebody that you love doing this. They may not be doing that. They could be accountants, they could be IT professionals, but I run across it every day where I'm like, you're a prolific writer, you're a musician, you are very good at mathematics, you're very good at humanitarian work. And they said, yes, yes. But then why aren't you following it? And that's the thing that they don't realize, that when you follow your fifth from Karakamsha Lagna, everything will just fall into place. Slowly and surely it will. Every single person who is successful, find anybody from an athlete to a politician to a entrepreneur, any billionaire, they are all somehow, some way, if they're accurate, if their time of birth is accurate, they're just simply following the fifth from Karakamsha Lagna to become successful. Sorry, it ain't nothing complicated. But obviously, the dasha that you run will paint that picture of the career with certain shade. So if you go through Jupiter dasha, you'll be far more optimistic about achieving those things, achieving that career. Where in Saturn, you'll be much more practical. You'll be like, music, who's gonna pay me for music? But you know what? Instead of music, if I did music producing, if I was behind the scenes and I just hired artists, that makes more sense to me because I can then make money. So you see how Jupiter will be more like, okay, I want to be a singer. I want to do classical singing. Saturn will be more like, nah, I want to do something more mechanical, technical work, which is more practical. So if I become a sound engineer and I can become a producer and I can work somewhere and make money. Mercury will be like, you know what? I don't want to do singing. I want to do songwriting. And I want to do marketing for the music industry. So you see, when this person knows that they're good in music, their natural talent in music, the dasha will say, okay, you're going to do this now. So this is why you see actors who turn into directors, then they turn into producers, and perhaps then they go on do something spiritual away from the film industry. So these are all the things. So you can be spiritual and an actor, because you can have 4 planets, fifth from your Karakamsha Lagna, telling multiple things. So you will do those multiple things naturally. Okay, but again, I diverted from my 10th house video here, but anyway, so that's my 10 cents. 10 cents on the 10th house. Okay. Where can you find this in the chart? Okay, I think you can find that in Gemini section. Let me see here. I'm gonna look at this. The Gemini section is right here. Let's see. Where is the Gemini section? Oh my God, the thing is like stupid thing is freezing again. That's Krishnamurti section in my report. Okay, so when you go on the Gemini section, which is on page 36 of the PDF report you get from my website. So if you don't know your Karakamsha Lagna, you can just go to astrologycares.com. Under the shop section, it's option 5 and 6 that just gives the report. So on the page 36, you will see Karakamsha ascendant right below the main birth chart. And right next to it shows Swamsalagna. Right next to it is Uppapadha. And then Padha chart, Navamsha. So that's where your Karakamsha is. Okay? So I hope that answered that for you. Yeah, that's a possibility. Karakamsha Lagna and the birth Lagna, meaning the D1 chart, your main birth chart will be the same. Absolutely, because depending upon which sign the Atma Karka is in Navamsha, it could be the same sign as your ascendant. So your ascendant becomes that Karakamsha. Just look at the fifth from your Karakamsha or just the main birth chart. And whatever those planets is, or if there's no planet, look where the Lord is going. And look which planets are looking at the fifth house through Gemini aspects, meaning Rashi sign aspects. It'll give you a very strong clue as to what you are naturally gifted with. Not something that you will do, because your timing may not allow you to do it, but what you're naturally gifted with. Something that you're just like, oh yeah, I know this. Like when it comes to fixing cars, you're just natural at it. Even if you didn't have your car, when you saw a car, it's like when Mozart saw piano, he didn't see chopsticks. He's like, this is something I can just create music with. I don't know why, but I can. And as soon as he sat down, he just created all the rhythm and the music. Same thing with you. When a person comes across a car, they'll be like, I don't know, but for some reason, I know I can fix this. I can fix this car. I can fix the carburetor. I can fix the engine. So from your fifth from Karakamsha Lagna, you can have Mars, Saturn receiving the aspect of Venus or the fourth lord. From Karakamsha Lagna, because fourth house is vehicles, Venus is vehicles. Venus will show great interest towards like fixing things mechanically. Or even like creative designing, architecture. If you have, let's say, Ketu Sun in the fifth house from Karakamsha Lagna, you'll be very good at mathematics, actuary related work, physics. If you have, let's say, Saturn, you will be very good in either law, mechanical studies, geography, anthropology, economics. Mercury will definitely give interest in, accounting, astrology, journalism, languages. Jupiter will give interest in management, classical music, classical literature. Ketu, Jupiter, and Venus will give great interest in astrology and occult. Rahu will show psychology, aerospace engineering. Rahu can show, software languages. Rahu can actually show somebody who wants to learn black magic. Mars can obviously show technology, engineering, logic, statistics, law, being a lawyer. Venus shows botany. Venus also shows DNA studies, arts, culture. Moon will show environmental science. Moon will show music. Moon will show medicine. Moon, humanitarian work is seen by Moon, especially Moon Saturn will create humanitarian work. Moon Rahu can show chemicals, pharmaceutical. Moon Rahu Mars will show chemical engineering. How do I know this? From my teacher, Mark Boney, my Gemini guru. Sorry, I've got the best guru in town, so Yeah. But there's these combinations like Saturn with Sun will do something, or Saturn with Venus will then do something. So you gotta, study these things. And the best way to study it is go to Mark Boney and get his Gemini level 1 and level 2 courses, which I did and I passed. So yeah, man. I mean, once you know these things and you know nakshatras, I mean, things sometimes flow like a river. But yes, there are some times when I'm looking at a chart and I'm just like spending 30 minutes and I have no clue what I'm looking at. Those charts, I just have to tell people I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm looking at it, and there could be some combination, a mysterious combination, where it won't allow either me or just an astrologer to get through. Sure. So nothing flows like a river 24/7. There are charts where I can't look at them. When I look at them, I'm just like, okay, who is this person? It happens. I'm not Parashara. I'm like a regular guy, man. I'm still learning. So anyway, guys, hopefully you understood and learned some stuff about the 10th house. We will see you later. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you want to know your Karakamsha Lagna, what's your 10th house, 10th Lord, all my reports, consultation, my nakshatra readings, go to astrologyKRS.com. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye bye.